In just under 5 weeks' time, we've seen 8 of our 13 named storms of the 2021 Atlantic hurricane season take place. This current and ongoing streak of storms began with Tropical Storm Fred, and since that time, it seemed like we haven't even had a chance to breathe between landfalls of these storms. And just as is to be expected in peak hurricane season, not only do we have Hurricane Larry and remnants of Tropical Storm Mindy taking place and merging in the northeast, but you are looking at 2 very important areas being watched for the next 2 storms we may possibly get. I think we all know by now this time of year, it's not about if we're going to get these storms, it's when. Here we go. Alright, welcome back my friends. It is September 10th, 2021, 1:05 p.m. Little bit of a late start, but that's okay. Before we get into the Atlantic Ocean and what's to come in the very near future, we're going to take one last look or so at Hurricane Larry, as you can see here off the northeast coast near Nova Scotia, St. Thomas, the northeast of the United States. One of the bigger headline storms we've had in a while that did not make landfall, although not everyone's out of the park yet with Larry. We still have some issues and affect areas like Nova Scotia and St. Pierre. We got Newfoundland up in this area, and we do know Larry is going to eventually get scooped up and put over top the North Atlantic Ocean, where it could do plenty of damage to places like England and Ireland as well. Depending on what happens with Larry in the next few days, I'll do forecasts on that if it becomes a major issue. But also with Larry and the constant talk about it, we had Tropical Storm Mindy, which you can sort of see form and then hit the Gulf states. It was a very messy storm, but it did happen. And one thing I want you guys to look at is this big nor'easter looking system we talked about. This thing put a big hit on places like Ontario. Some of the storm footage out of there was incredible over the last couple days. And then swooping down to the northeast, causing a lot of issues here in the tri-state area. And basically, we spent a lot of time explaining different pressures and how different things affect these low pressure systems or cyclones. And it's just amazing to see these peel-offs and these different systems that form because of them. We almost have a mirrored image right here up in the North Atlantic Ocean, just as we did over Canada and the US. So these two signatures are very much related to each other based on atmospheric conditions. And now also I want you to notice something, that at the tail end of these two almost 9 symbols or question mark symbols, they look like a nor'easter would, as they are off the east coast of the United States in the Atlantic Ocean. These tails both contained tropical systems, one being Mindy right here and then the other being Larry at this point. So over time you can start developing an eye for certain signatures to look for, or things that come only in hindsight, which is still just as interesting sometimes, to then go back and add that data to any sort of prediction or a forecast. That's how these things work. As we move closer to current time, and for those of you that were watching these videos over the last 2 weeks, we talked about the jet stream and how the jet stream was going to be the deciding factor whether or not Larry was going to be an issue to the United States or really the other surrounding areas. And this basically played out like a textbook from day one. They almost had this down perfect, as did we here on the channel. You can clearly see this wall of the jet stream here, and the reason we could see it so clear on the long wave infrared radar is because this is basically Mindy. The jet stream would have been here anyway, we just wouldn't really be able to see it without some other types of charts. But because Mindy was a tropical storm, formed and then kind of expanded over the southeast, it basically filled in the invisible line of the jet stream and made it visible to us. So we can really see a clear-cut line coming down through northern Canada, down into Ontario even, New York, and then this skims all the way down the northeast into the Atlantic Ocean, creating a big wall that is then in turn pushing out Larry. So this stuff is all just one big morphing system. There's going to be plenty more to incorporate the history of Larry into in the very near future, but for those of you that want to check out another website that gives you a very good idea of the jet stream, we're here on Ventusky, and all you gotta do is change the altitude setting to a very high altitude, and it gives you the exact measurements of where the strongest part and highlighted area of the jet stream are, giving us a clear view of our savior of Larry. And now moving on to another view here on the College of DuPage website, we need this to then talk about our 2 invest, or at least soon will be invest. One of those things you can see basically exploding off the west coast of Africa. We can see that clear as day on this chart. And if I go ahead and take control of it, let's just line ourselves up. Here is Larry. Mindy is our jet stream wall. This is going to be one invest area, 70% to 80% chance right now. And as you can see over here on the west coast of Africa, where our storms this time of year tend to come from and tend to be strong, we can see what looks to be an explosion of moisture coming off that west coast right over top of the Cape Verde Islands, it seems. And this is usually 9 times out of 10 what you see before a storm such as Irma, Maria, and even now Larry can be put in that list of storms that came from the west coast of Africa. We can see similar messy buildup here in the Gulf, which is known for this type of stuff. We have the Central America landmass that connects South America and North America. This strip of land really does mess with the weather, and that's why it's always such a mess here. But right now, the day of peak hurricane season, which is today, September 10th, this entire tropical Caribbean area is on fire as far as the energy needed for these storms, and we're seeing one form right now. You can almost see these ripples shooting in like a star formation. If I back up here, it almost looks like everything's pulling together nicely. All the ingredients there for a tropical cyclone. I was definitely not kidding when I said 8 of our 13 named storms of this season all took place since August 4th. That is a very high number of storms in a short period of time, and as you see on your screen, the next 2 names we have to look forward to, which we may see within a 5 to 7 day period, that would be Nicholas and Odette. My friends, that's all I got for you for right now. I cannot thank you enough for the continued support and interest you guys show in the channel. It means the world to me. I'll be back with another update tomorrow morning, more than likely, if not the early afternoon, with all the information you're going to need on these situations and whatever other crazy stuff happens in this world. You can guarantee you'll find it right here. Thank you all so much. Shout out to Canada. I'll talk to you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Stop right there, my friends. If you have not already, click that subscribe button and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Click all and you will get all notifications from this channel. And trust me, you won't be disappointed.